Meriwether County Board of Commissioners, December the 9th, 2024 meeting. We ask at this time you silence all your cell phones and electronic device. We'll stand for invocation. Chief Danny, if you mind doing that for us, and then remain standing for the pledge to the flag.
Would bow your heads, please. Heavenly Father, Lord, we come before you tonight. Thank you for this opportunity to come in and gather as citizens and leaders of Meriwether County. Lord, that we ask for your guidance and leadership during this meeting, that it be beneficial to all citizens of Meriwether County, and that most importantly, it glorifies you. All this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First thing we need to do here is to adopt the agenda. Is there anything that needs to be changed or amended in it?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Under appointments, number 5, appointment to Three Rivers RDC Board for a term to expire on 12/31/2024. We asked to table this to January 6th because usually the chairman serves at that position.
Okay. All right, so we'll just take that off.
And then we need to add one item under new business, number 6, consideration of Board of Commissioners receiving donations for courthouse renovations.
Number 6.
Yes, sir. Consideration of BOC receiving donations for courthouse renovation.
Is there anything else?
No, sir, that's it.
Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda? So moved. Motion, I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? No presentations. Mr. John, finance report.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, in front of you are the bank balances as of 3 o'clock today. All the financials, bank balances are in pretty good shape. Finance has no concerns or sees any issues with any account balances. General fund has 1.6 million. We may look at moving some to an investment pool because we gained about 30,000 this month in interest for the prior months. Your SPOS and T-SPOS commitments are on your second page. The 2020 SPOS balance as of today to spend is almost 511,000, and T-SPOS balance is about 173,000 that we have available to spend, and a little over $500,000 in LRA money that is still out there to be spent.
Any questions from the board? All right, thank you, Mr. John. Any department heads here to mention or talk about anything tonight?
Yes, sir. I would like to introduce Haley Palmer. We have hired Haley as the admin assistant. She'll be assisting John and myself. So,
Welcome, Ms.
Haley.
Palmer. Glad to have you here.
and then also, we received a letter from the Pine Mountain Regional Library System, just saying on behalf of the library, they would, and the Board of Trustees, they'd like to say Merry Christmas to the board. They do have some exciting news. They received a grant which will allow them to provide hotspots for checkout. Patrons without internet access will be able to check out a hotspot and use the internet in the safety and comfort of their own home. So just wanted to let the board know about that.
Any other department head?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. On December 20th is a tentative date for elected and re-elected officials to be sworn in at the courthouse. It'll be under Judge Neely, I believe. That was just a notice we received from their office.
That's at 12 noon on the 20th.
Yes, sir, 12 noon on the 20th, tentatively.
For our next department head, for the next meeting, can we get an update on the LRA projects and the status of them?
Yes, sir.
Because there's several that I think we've already put out for people to do, but I'd like to know where we at in that. We got citizens asking questions.
Yes, sir, we can get you an update.
All right, we'll go right on into citizens' comments. I think we have one signed up. It's like a James Cuddington.
Yes,
And James here?
yes.
If you'll step up here for a second, let me read this off, Mr. Cuddington. It's nothing directed at you individually, but they make me read it, so I have to do that. Speakers must contact the county clerk at a.stevens@meriwethercountyga.gov on or before the dates and times listed below in order to be placed on the agenda to speak. Speakers must provide their name, address, and topic they wish to discuss. For the first Monday of the month, 6 o'clock p.m. meeting, speakers must email or call before 5 p.m. on the day of that scheduled meeting. For the fourth Tuesday of the month, 6:00 p.m. meeting, speakers must email or call before 5 p.m. on the day of that scheduled meeting. Speakers must direct their remarks to the board and not to an individual commissioners or to the audience. Personal disagreements with individual commissioners or county employees are not a matter of public concern, and personal attacks will not be tolerated. Speakers will be allotted 3 minutes to speak on their chosen topic as they relate to the matter pertinent to the jurisdiction of the Board of Commissioners. No question will be asked by any of the commissioners during citizens' comments. Outbursts from the audience will not be tolerated. Common courtesy, civility are expected at all times during the meeting. No speaker will be permitted to speak more than 3 minutes or more than once unless the board votes to suspend this rule. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. I live at 1134 Dunn Road in Warm Springs, Georgia. My road's about 1.5 miles long. There's 35-mile-an-hour speed limit signs on both ends of the road. And, I mean, the traffic, people come through there 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. My road consists of a lot of short curves. I live in the middle of one. My son lives in one. My sister lives in one. We've had 3 accidents on this road. A lot of our problem is where trains block 194 crossing, and the people will come around either way, and they don't know the roads, and it's just getting out of hand. And I'd like to have some speed bumps put in on the road to slow traffic down before somebody gets hurt.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it. Thank you for coming here tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, under minutes, everybody's had a chance to review the November 26, 2024 regular meeting at 6:00 p.m. Is there any changes that need to be done? If not, do I have a motion to adopt the minutes?
So moved.
I have a second? Second. Got a motion second, all in favor? Thank you. All right, going right into the public hearings. The first one there, change of license, alcohol license, M. Guest, Hogansville, Georgia, was continued from November 26, 2024 to the regular meeting at 6:00 p.m. Do you have any,
Gotta go to public hearing.
what's that?
Gotta go into a public hearing.
All right, do I have a motion to go into public hearing?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Now we're in a public hearing.
All right, after speaking with council, due to some changes made to the application, I've had to re-advertise this, and this application will actually be brought to you guys as a alcohol license and licensee on the 23rd of December.
As a new license, so this, we can close this public hearing and be a new
You
one.
actually
open.
didn't need a public hearing for that. I thought.
But that's the reason I was waiting. I was waiting because
Well, I
I,
thought you were gonna just announce that.
Oh, okay.
Well, but this-
Same thing with both, okay.
So this will be a new item then, so we can close
Yes.
this public hearing with no decision, and we'll open a new one in the next meeting. Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion to close this public hearing. So, second.
all in favor? It's closed.
And the next one, same way?
Yeah, you don't need to open the public hearing.
Okay, then the next one's the
That's the
same
reason I
one.
said, go ahead, Miss Sandra. And then I thought maybe I would need to open it. So anyhow, number 2, we're not going to open that one. Go ahead and say what you need to tell us tonight.
After receiving the application and talking with council, we're gonna have this on the 23rd of December's agenda.
That was advertised.
That was advertised, both have been advertised for the 23rd of December.
All right. Thank you. Now we'll go right on to case number P24-022, request from Todd Bossard.
Bouchard,
How's that?
Bouchard.
Broussard, Holdings LLC to rezone parcels 159-038, 159-038-002 from NHC to industrial, the old car lot outside Manchester. This was continued from November 26, 2024 regular meeting at 6:00 p.m. Do we need a motion to go back into this? Do I have a motion to go into this public hearing?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
You got a second? All in favor? We are now in the open.
You guys had asked that we had the fire marshal come in, and so Ms. Smith is here tonight to answer you guys, any questions you guys may have.
So Chief Stevens, have you had a chance to review what this request is for and the business nature that this gentleman is going to be conducting?
I haven't looked at it, and you looked at the request.
I don't know that we have the full information that we need as far as the plans, the proposed
entire business model, if you will, about what they plan to do. Again, we've answered just very generic questions that have been asked of us, but nothing specific at this time.
So do you guys have any major concerns of being able to contain a fire or anything at this property?
I mean, our biggest deal is like, our goal is, and expectations is anytime we have an industrial facility, we like to have hydrants within 500 feet of each other, or at least on all four corners of the building. This doesn't currently have that. The nearest water mains to this location is an 8-inch water main at River Road and Highway 85, which is 3,106 foot from this location going north. And then there's a 10-inch main at Highway 85 and Horizon Way at the Industrial Park in Manchester, which is a 3,800 foot south of this location. Currently, what is provided for this location is a 2.5-inch main, which is mainly for consumable water, bathrooms, restrooms, water fountains, things like that. There would be some concern with that type structure. I don't really know what we've discussed aerosols, we've discussed lithium batteries, just in generic questions. I don't really know what's going in there currently. Do you?
I concur with Chief Stevens.
You know, so that's kind of where we're at on this. There is 2 residences on McLean Road within 1,000 feet of this property. There's also another business within 597 feet from the property. The building's approximately 23,000 square foot, and according to our calculations, for 100% involvement of that, it's going to take about 8,000 gallons of water per minute. At the current, where we're at right now, that's going to take a massive water shuttle program, shuttling water from the hydrants to this location, with our trucks carrying 1,000 gallons per trip. So they're relatively close, but they're still just far enough away to where we can't pump water to that location. And also I just done a quick, like a mixed load, unidentified cargo, because I don't know what is going to be disposed of or housed in this facility. In our ERG book, initial isolation distances for hazmat release is a half mile in all directions in optimal weather situations. No wind, no topography, that's just generic. So without knowing specifics, it's hard to get into the details and all that type of stuff of what we've got to provide. Also, I'd like to recognize that we would really like to have some type of early detection, such as an alarm in an industrial facility of this nature, because we take a fire that's burned 30 minutes prior to us being notified, we're way behind. Whereas if we got smoke in a fire in the incipient stage or the beginning stages, we got a better chance of extinguishing something like that. Also to note, we do have automatic aid agreements. So we don't, when the call comes in, they will dispatch the city of Manchester, Talbot County Fire, which is Flint Hill primarily, and Meriwether County. That's our automatic agreement with those 2 fire departments. So we will have additional resources coming. And it's huge in that area because of the facility. We will have access to the city of Manchester's aerial device, their ladder truck. So just kind of a list of stuff I went through.
But are they equipped to handle chemical fire?
We got foam. It depends on what chemical it is, really. And I know that's not, I need to know what's there to see if we can extinguish it. You know, ethanol's gonna burn different than some spray or maybe even oil. You know, I mean, it just depends on what's being in that facility. And a lot of that we'll do on a pre-plan aspect. I'm sorry, I knew you were gonna say something. But a lot of that we'll do on pre-plans. We're going out in the buildings, and that's some stuff we're establishing now that we've never had, is going out and touching base and doing door-to-doors with these industries in the county to say, hey, what are you storing in bulk? Where is it being stored? Trying to get all that preliminary stuff worked out, so if we do respond, we need to know what type foam we need, that type of stuff. So,
What would it take to get fire extinguishers closer to that?
I don't know, you would have
Say
to.
fire extinguisher, sir?
I'm sorry, fire
Okay,
hydrants.
thank you, okay. You're probably gonna have to go down 85 either way. I think it would be easier to come from the north side, because you don't have to cross the creek there, but that can be accomplished as well coming from the south. Now, there is a 10-inch main at the industrial park, and that's the best water supply the city of Manchester has. I was talking with Chief Williams earlier, and I mean, that's a 1,500 GPM hydrant, you know, and if you put 4 around the building with that 10-inch main, that 10-inch main, approximately 3,000 gallons a minute just in the 10-inch main, you know, so.
Another concern not addressed, but again, needs to be addressed with the extinguishing possibilities of just using water. Again, too, not knowing what chemicals we may have, water may be a contraindication versus an indication for extinguishment as well. And again, we just don't have enough data on that to give us a true understanding of the proposal at this time.
Any other questions for the fire marshal or the chief?
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Algie.
I got one question. We're talking about extinguishing the fire. We just approved 2 million square foot out there on 54. What's gonna be in those buildings? Is anything similar to this stuff gonna be stored in those buildings also?
From my gathering, that's gonna be just a transitional.
Gonna be
I
what?
don't know, just like it's gonna be warehouse storage, so no, I don't know.
So you don't know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they could be storing aerosol stuff.
That's
Yeah.
my only question. That's probably gonna be the same kind of stuff stored out there.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
Mr. Todd, you have anything else you want to add tonight, or?
Sure, yes, sir.
And can I ask you, did I understand clearly that the last meeting, I think you suggested or you're willing to absorb or help with the cost to get water there because for your business?
We'd like to, good evening, everyone. My name is Todd Bazard, and I am the property owner at the old car lot there outside of Manchester. And I'm here with my wife, Alice. We live in Peachtree City. And yes, we would like to have that discussion. If that would help motivate or speed things along, we want to have that discussion. We are in the phase right now where we met with our architect last week, and we are in the drawing phase right now for the planning of the actual big building, the 23,000 square feet building. And so to answer your question, yes, we would be interested in that kind of discussion. We also met with Pi Barker today, our fire extinguishing, one of the companies that we're working with, and we talked about different fire extinguishing media that, and so a sprinkler may not even be required. As we look at our business model, right, when we look at a retail store that may have pharmaceuticals, it may have shampoo, laundry detergent, and it may also have some carburetor cleaner or, aerosols that may be flammable. We want to service those facilities. So again, when you walk into a big box retail store like a Walmart or Home Depot or CVS, hazmat may not be the first thing that comes to your mind, but it's there, right? And same with the DCs that supply them. Those are my customers. And so a part of our business is managing national contracts. So many of those products may not even pass through or stop in Georgia. What we're asking for is, can we pursue the exploration of the idea of, can we set up a business as a transporter and reverse logistics, including pharmaceuticals, non-hazardous products, and some hazardous. And so really our petition here today is coming as a property holder to discuss this. And so as we agree that we think that fire hydrant, we're in agreement that they're on both sides, but they're not close, right? We also think that we can work with the proper fire engineers to either start on a very small scale with different extinguishing media, not requiring a large main, right? So there's options for that. There's also options for pumps and tanks and things like that. And so there's a lot to consider on this. What we're asking for is, before all of this can go forward, can we get it zoned so that we can actually begin the planning, the business model development, and the coordination. Excuse me, there's much more that follows this on emergency response planning and things like that will be required. So we're at that phase now of, is Meriwether County willing to allow Bazard Holdings to bring a business opportunity to Meriwether County that would serve as an increased asset as environmental company that is capable of cleaning up and doing remediation for contaminated sites, as well as servicing retail distribution centers and retail stores and manufacturing plants in the vicinity and across the country. And with that being said, we are mostly focused on finished goods. And as we know, an aerosol can is less than 1 liter. That's a DOT package, right? So we're not a bulk storage facility. We don't have 1,000-gallon tanks of flammable liquids, right? So we're talking about storing a pallet of aerosols or a truckload of aerosols, right? As one of the cases, right? And so our petition here today is, the way we see it is the industrial zoning is the first item to start on a long phase of regulatory compliance involving local emergency responders, the United States EPA, the US DOT, and the Georgia Department of Environmental Protection and Natural Resources as well for solid waste permits, things like that, right? So the compliance gets very complicated pretty quick in what we do and what we manage for ourselves and our customers. We're asking the Board of Commissioners, can we begin this pursuit with the first thing, which would be an industrial zoning? We would then look to work with the emergency responders and the fire marshals and our fire engineers to meet the requirements for getting a certificate of occupancy, right? So we do have 4 buildings on our property. We did purchase 2 parcels. The McLean building is a 5,000 square foot building that does have, we purchased that from Stelson Signal. It does have plumbing and electricity. And we're working with Pi Barker to have fire extinguishers and that extinguishing media in there next week. So we think on a small scale, we could start to do some, get our business going and start to pursue the plans for the big building.
So what's going to be stored in the 5,000 square foot building?
That's a great question. And what we would like to do is to go ahead and add a loading dock to the McLean building, where we could then, in the 5,000 square foot building, go to a big box retailer, come back with their shampoos, come back with their pet food, come back with their batteries, or possibly some of the aerosols, sort, segregate, and properly package those for recycling at other facilities and load those onto the various trailers outside. So we could do basically a depackaging, right, without storage, if that makes sense. So that would allow us to get into business and to start to work with the necessary parties like the emergency responders on the details at the bigger one. That big building has no plumbing, it has no electrical, because all of that was built in the 60s and 70s, and we have got it down to the slab and the walls, and we're ready to rebuild that. We're ready to make an investment that we think is in the neighborhood of $3 million to that corner property. And so that's what we're asking is, can we make an investment in Meriwether County of $3 million?
So the McLean building,
The old paint shop.
it's the old paint shop in the back.
Yes.
One thing just to bring the board's attention, so the way the zoning works though, if you want to condition the zoning, you got to do it now. If you grant zoning, you have no power to
Right.
go back and condition it.
Right.
I was letting him, I didn't want to cut him
Just
off.
making
So I was
sure
letting
I know,
him
I
finish
missed it.
because my question, council, was going to be, could we put it under a condition
Absolutely.
that it has to satisfy all the fire and safety protection before they can move forward? Otherwise, we could rezone it.
Yeah,
But they couldn't open up and start functioning until they either have the appropriate extinguisher media or the fire hydrants, whatever the fire marshal and the chief, and they all come, and the engineers come together and say, he must have this adequately to keep the fire from getting out of hand. conditions would be based on operation would not start until that's complete.
Absolutely, but I think we need the help from your fire staff, because I don't, I can say it's conditioned upon them having,
I was just gonna ask that.
all glass and all brick. I don't know anything about putting out fires, so yeah, yes, Chairman, you are absolutely right, that's what I would recommend, but you're gonna need them to help you work. Just, I don't know.
Well, hold on, Cassandra. So last time you were here, Mr. Bussard, you said that there would be no climate control in either building, no heat or air, correct?
On the, yes, sir. So we're still we haven't finalized that. In my understanding, where we're handling flammables, we will not have a propane heater, right? So we just won't have a flame in any
Well, not
room
only
where
the
we're.
heater, but also a concern of heat building up in these metal buildings. So if you store stuff for a long period of time, and especially the building that you're talking about, it is the closest building in proximity to an actual landowner that has a pretty extensive piece of property there, and it's wooded with a lot of pine trees and pine straw. So if something happened, it's going to go pretty quick. So I guess that's my biggest concern is if something happens in that building, or if you have items stored around that area closest to a private property owner's area, by the time anybody got there, that fire is already going to spread to that property, possibly to those homes that are out there too.
Is that a question? Is there a question to me?
No, my question was, do you plan on having it climate controlled?
Oh, okay. And I hope that we have some air conditioning at some place, at least in some office. We are currently pursuing with licensed HVAC companies to figure out, can we get electric heat pumps to run either air conditioning or heat in there? And we don't know the answer to that. I can tell you that we will not store anything unauthorized in risk of heat or buildup of heat. But we do know that there are industrial fans that we are pursuing as well. And so in my history of servicing distribution centers, they're called ambient distribution centers because they're not conditioned. And that's because, we don't need to air condition finished goods that aren't going to perish, right? I understand your concern about fire and neighbors. We are in the process of setting up early detection, a fire alarm and a security alarm. There are also different spill protection mechanisms that we can set basins. So if there is any type of leak, we can detect it. We're also going to install air monitoring equipment for our employee safety and industrial hygiene. So there's a number of different layers to that. And I can assure you, we are not going to put ourselves or our team or our employees at risk, much less our property or the neighboring property. If that answers does that speak to your?
Somewhat.
Is there anything else that I can speak to, or is there any area that I've left?
No, I'm just actually thinking because I have a lot of concerns about it. If you said last time you were here that there have been known instances where companies like this have had combustions and fires break out and things like that. So there's a lot of property out there that if it gets out, it will, right time of year, it'll take out the whole road.
Well, I think generally when you got a warehouse like that, to his point, nobody spends the money to air condition product unless it's critical to the nature of the product. You don't want to spoil it. But there will be airflow controls to maintain as close to ambient temperature as possible where it doesn't build excessive heat, which may be airflow, ventilation, what have you. So I think that would be there. The biggest concern is that I think on a condition would need to be that you have a fire alarm system on each facility that is linked to the Manchester and Meriwether County Fire Departments. Instantly, when it alerts, they're notified and are on the move, and that you have a site self-containing fire suppression system. That it may not extinguish it, but it will suppress it to where it's self-contained on that property and not escape. And then we need to do work on the side of how do we contain and control to help extinguish it further. Because once it starts, that's your property, your insurance, that's for you to worry about. Our concern is that it doesn't impact any other citizen around you.
Correct, and back to Commissioner Threadgill's point about has there been any historical, and the EPA and the DOT have these regulations because there have been historical problems, right? Are they common? In my business and we have not had a fire on any of our trucks or in any of our facilities that we service. But is fire a very real thing that we want to be prepared for? Absolutely. So just because we agreed that, hey, something has happened in the past, doesn't mean that we don't train to write correct policies and procedures to address the risk, minimize the risk, and work in coordination with all levels of the environmental department, the US EPA, and our local teams.
And let me clarify, the reason I ask about climate control is you actually referenced going into CVS and having the same type of product there. So it is climate controlled. It's under a different scenario of possibility of combustion due to that. So that's why I asked the question.
Correct. And most of the time we work with the distribution centers that supply the CVS. And those are the 1 million square feet distribution centers. They may be Amazon, they may be Walmart, they may be CVS. Each one of those companies has their own 1 million square foot distribution center, right? And these products go up and down our roads every day. They go into our stores every day. They come into our basements, into our garage, to our kitchens, into our bathrooms every single day. And again, this is one small part of even our customers asking us to solve a shampoo issue this month of about 6 truckloads of shampoo. Can I park 6 trailers of shampoo on my property? Right? And that's a question to you guys, right? So even though the aerosols are one part, right, there's many other parts where that we do have opportunities to go ahead and get into business.
I have to agree with Commissioner Collins, that $2 million warehouse project out there, nobody asked any of these kind of questions.
Yes, we did.
Hold on.
No, let me.
Can I speak on that, Chairman? Can I speak on that?
No,
for just a second?
let me just finish what I'm saying. What I'm getting at is, we were asked to give him zoning so he can go do all the work and bring it back with conditions. So I was getting to the point that there's not much difference between this and that of what he's asking for. He's asking for zoning to do all the work, but still has to meet the conditions of this board or what Commissioner Threadgill wants for his district or Adam. He would have to still do that before moving forward. So I was just trying to clarify that part.
With all due respect to Mr. Broussard, this is the first time I've ever met him. I had a meeting with the 2 million square foot, me and Cassandra, and you were sent the email with those questions that we asked. That's a meeting that we had preliminary to come into this meeting. So I want to clarify that we didn't just haphazardly do something. We put in request that said, hey, we need you to put fire hydrants within 500 foot. Mm-hmm. You need to connect to a main. They need to be on both sides of the building. There was issues with tractor trailers parking that we made request 500 foot. You cannot park these tractor trailers. So that's where we had meetings with that.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, we wasn't asking the questions as far.
Three Rivers, there's a lot more that goes on when you build a 2 million square foot building than the size of the building he got.
But that
a lot
does,
more you have to meet.
I wasn't doubting what y'all did. What I'm
That's right.
saying is, we didn't ask, is aerosol gonna be out there? We didn't ask, if it's explosion, what's it gonna do in the environment to the farm next door? We were just wanting to make sure y'all did all y'all's work, which you did. I didn't deny that. I didn't question that at all.
I just wanted to make sure that everybody.
This is minimum to what that is
That's
out
right.
there. And
That's
the
right.
guys just wanting permission to move forward to get all this answers done. 'Cause that's what they told us about the gentleman out there was, he didn't want to go spend all the money, then come in and find out we ain't gonna let him do it anyhow. So that was the purpose for rezoning, is to get the work done. So to me, it sounds like tonight, some conditions need to be set.
Yes.
I found out a lot just with
and
him
he made some
talking.
good conditions right there.
Yeah.
As long as all that's covered and keeps the neighborhood safe and the environment safe, and he can prove that and passes y'all's and the engineers, that's what we should be asking.
The difference is between these two properties,
Right.
and they're not even relevant, but the conditions were set for that structure to be built there had to meet certain fire requirement restrictions.
Right.
That
Right.
this property doesn't currently have.
Right.
So we need to get some plan in place that matches what we did before.
And
Because what we did before will enable us to be able to handle whatever they put in there. And they still have to get it approved by the fire marshal and the EPD.
That's right.
Right.
And get a
That's what
certificate of
I'm
occupancy
Right.
based on what they're gonna store in there.
Yes, sir.
That's where we're headed on this
And I've
property.
at that end of the county, I've got 2 paid agencies within 10 miles of that location, and one has a specialized hazmat team,
Awesome.
with Coweta County. And in Manchester, I have the city of Manchester, which is 3 people per shift, and I have the rest is rural volunteer fire service, with the exception of what we provide. So there are 2 different scenarios,
We need to
with
get back to
those.
this one.
That's right.
That's right.
Okay. Get
And
back to
so
this one.
I didn't know the suppression systems and the alarms, that's answers to my questions that I had tonight, so.
What I wanted to add too is that in any commercial building, whether it be a remodel or a new build, they have to submit the engineer plans that also have the fire plans that Mr. Mitt has to approve before anything can be remodeled or built. So nothing's ever done without these approvals.
And this particular building, as you made mention, is an existing building, and it doesn't have some of the protective features, and it's being repurposed. We're going from a car dealership, sales, if you will, and now storage with potential hazardous materials. I'm not gonna say absolute hazardous materials, but potential. You look up in hazardous materials for definitions and find out, everybody take a deep breath. We just breathed in a hazardous material, oxygen. So again, too, there are protective features, and I'm not trying to choose sides of either one. I'm just sitting there stating what the code would allow us to do. You have entrusted us with what you're doing, Ms. Cassandra, Chief Stevens, and for some reason they brought me in to sit there and try to help out. And I will promise you, there are some people that do not like to see me and my red pen coming as far as reviewing plans. And this gentleman, when he submits, again, I think tonight he's saying, I want to find out if I can pursue and submit, and obviously that's up to y'all. I just got, but
You're fine.
I got gone out, didn't I?
You're fine.
But again, too, it's up to y'all whether you want us to pursue with this gentleman through Ms. Cassandra in the future.
Well, since we had those questions at the last one, it'd been nice, I don't know where the ball got dropped, but it'd been nice within the last 2 weeks, y'all had met and talked some.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we can do it in the
Absolutely.
future.
I think Chief Stevens had
I don't
made
think you
mention,
was at the last meeting anyhow.
I think Chief Stevens made mention on the 2
Right,
million
that's what I'm
square, 2 million square foot project. Yes, we did sit down with people. And it would have been fantastic to meet and exchange business cards before tonight.
Yes, sir.
Sitting here in a hot question scenario that may be in, recorded video, it's gonna be in the newspaper and things like that, so. Yes, sir, we were kind of blindsided by some of this
Well,
ourselves.
we get that quite often
I
too,
understand,
sir.
yes.
Don't worry.
More than you deserve, I'm sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board? All right. Do we have any motions from the board that would like to make a motion to?
We have to come out.
Oh, that's why we got to come out there.
Yeah.
Anybody here to speak
There's
in
no more,
favor?
and we've already gave opportunity for those against and for to
Yeah, I mean,
speak.
y'all are way over the.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just
Y'all giving the
making sure.
public way more time than the law gives.
Okay, all right. Do I have a motion to go out of public hearing?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor? We are now out of this open hearing, case number P24022. Do I have any motion from the board?
Yes. Since this is my district and I do have concerns, I would like to make the motion that we allow this to move from the current zoning to the industrial zoning with stipulation that there be a fire safety plan that has to be approved by our fire department and our fire marshal prior to this being able to go completely forward. And I would also like to add a condition to the rezoning that by rezoning this to industrial, that the stipulation be added that if this company goes out of business or sells this property, as long as the property continues with the same business format, that it be allowed to continue. But if it sells and it goes to a different industrial company that wants to move forward, then it reverts back to the current zone now, and they have to come back before us in order to request a different rezoning to industrial.
I'm not sure that's legal.
You can. You can.
Would they just have to come forward, and get whatever they're gonna do with the property and get that approved by us? Or it would remain industrial, but they would have to come in and get it approved.
But we're zoning it industrial for this particular company. And we are putting stipulations in place on these buildings that they cannot move forward, or I'm requesting to have that without this fire safety plan in there. So by putting all this in place, if a different company comes in, then we would not have the same safeguards and stipulations for that particular type of company. Therefore, I'm requesting that it revert back to its current zoning, and they have to come before us to request for an industrial rezone.
Council?
In the law, there is no answer as to whether automatic reversion is legal or illegal. It's done, but I'm just saying, I can't guarantee you one way or the other whether it's legal or not. What you can do that is legal is that if they fail to do that, this board will reinitiate rezoning, and then y'all can rezone. Like, where they do that all the time in other counties, they'll say, and it's conditioned just to try to prevent speculative rezoning. They're saying, and the applicant must have a land disturbance permit or certificate of occupancy or whatever within 12 months, or the board will reinitiate rezoning procedures. That much is legal for sure, so.
My motion still stands.
Can we add something to the motion?
Now he's gotta let you.
That's what I'm
Oh,
asking.
okay.
I said, yeah.
So, did we add that they install a fire alarm system that's linked to the Manchester Fire Department and the Meriwether County Fire Department? Yep.
So that's part of your conditions.
Adam wants to add it, yep.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it. I don't know how that
Yes.
legal thing there works
don't
out.
have
We'll find out, but I'll second that.
I ain't arguing either way.
Thank you for that.
That's a good point. But at least you can say, I told you. I got a motion, I got a second. All in favor? Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Was that hard enough?
All right, we're gonna go right on into appointments. Number one, appointment to DFAX District 1 to fill a 5-year term that will expire on June 20th, 2029. That is in my district. She says she'd be more than honored to serve. I'd like to appoint Dr. Margaret Winbish for this term as the motion.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor? Thank you. Number two, appointment to the Meriwether County Water and Sewer Authority, District 5, set to expire 12/31/2024.
Oh, sorry. I thought mine was further down. Apologize. I'd like to table that to the 12/23 meeting. I've spoken with the current member. They have some health concerns, and I'll get a final answer before the end of the year. So,
I'll second it.
All in favor? Thank you. Appointment to the Public Facilities Authority to fill a term that will expire.
we skip through.
Oh, I did, excuse me. Appointment to the Board of Assessors to fill a term that will expire 12/31/2024, 3-year term.
Right now, that appointment is filled by Mr. Robert Phillips. There would need to be a resolution also signed, and I have it.
He wants to continue.
Yes, he is more than willing to continue.
I make a motion to appoint Robert Phillips
Do I have a
to
second?
Tax Assessor Board.
A second?
I second.
All in favor? Thank you. Number four, appointment to the Public Facilities Authority to fill a term that will expire 12/31/2024, 3-year term.
Right now, I believe that's being filled by Miss Robin Wilkinson, and I have not been able to speak with her about if she would like to go back on the board, but I mean, she's not, I don't think they meet very often. Miss Rosalie can tell you.
She'll do it. I'll reappoint Robin Wilkins.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you there. We took number 5 off. Number 6, appointment to the Two Rivers RC&D that will expire 12/31/2024, a 1-year term.
Right now, that's being occupied by Commissioner Collins and also by Administrator Gordon. There's 2 appointments, so 1 each.
Mr. John and Mr. Collins want to continue doing that, or you want somebody else appointed?
I have no problem doing it, Mr. Chairman. I haven't,
I know you think
They're
maybe
back
hands
from-
full.
And I'm the alternate, right?
Or would you like to table that to the 23rd?
if the board would like for me to serve on it, I'll serve on it.
so.
I'm not gonna appoint myself.
No, know that.
I'll make a motion to appoint John Gordon.
I'll second.
That's for number 6.
All in favor? I'll make a motion to keep Commissioner Collins as an alternate.
I'll second.
All in favor? Thank you.
Oh, I can't vote.
You abstained.
All right, appointment to the Two Rivers RC and D for a term that will expire in 12/31/2024.
That's what we just
We just did that one for Commissioner
we just did
Collins.
6 and 7.
We did them both, okay. All right, unfinished business, courthouse assessment proposals. John?
Commissioners, we had 2 proposals come in for the courthouse assessment. EMC Engineering with a price of $38,000 and Terracon with a price of $15,500. Both were presented at November 26th meeting. They presented their proposals. After staff has had a chance to review and research both companies, staff will recommend EMC Engineering due to the scope of work in their assessment proposal. Staff would like to point out that this $38,000 does not include the work on the RFP. They did include a price schedule, and that could go up to $8,000 to $10,000 to help us build the RFP based off the scope of work. Correct.
Can I excuse you a minute? Can we ask somebody that's going to go outside and talk, please? That's Cassandra, so I don't know. Thank you, Mr. Judge Palmer.
That's a judge for you.
Thank you, sir.
I would like that Saturday, Terracon reached out and said that they can help with RFP, but that will be a cost between $5,000 to $8,000. They did not give me a fee schedule based off of what level per engineer that EMC did. EMC kind of gave us a whole breakdown. They made every changes that legal requested without any hesitation, but it is double the amount of Terracon. And from our research, Terracon strictly is more of a jail facility type repair.
I like the fact that the other group with EMC
Yes, sir.
has been doing several of the local courthouses, the surrounding, I think they did what, Thomaston's or?
Thompson and I believe Harris County, and they were
Yeah.
both.
And, but that's my personal opinion, so we'll see what the board wants to do.
Well, I'd like to make a motion to go with EMC.
I got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
When they allow the chair to sign,
What's that?
for allow the chair to sign the
Allow the
agreement.
chair to sign.
Yeah, last year.
It's in.
All right. I got a motion, got a second, all in favor? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. We'll get the courthouse
Let's get it rolling.
assessment and bring it back to you as soon as we're available.
New business. Number 1, set the 2025 meeting and holiday schedule.
Give me 1 second, Commissioner, let me get to that. In front of you have the proposed 2025 Meriwether County Board of Commissioners meeting schedule and the holiday schedule,
Wait a minute, where's that at?
page 51.
All right, thank you, sir.
You will see some revised dates. This was due to clerk advertising times to allow turnaround time for the typing of minutes and advertising. We have had Commissioner Collins, as requested on January 6th, he has a pre-planned vacation that we can move that meeting. Legal has an obligation on January 7th, so staff will recommend January 8th to hold the first meeting of the new year at 6 p.m.
As long as there's a quorum, I've never heard of moving from one commissioner being.
What's that?
I said, as long as there's a quorum, I haven't heard of moving a meeting from one commissioner not being present.
I think the only reason he was asking that is before we change the date, especially it helps accommodate with your new work schedule, have all of them at night. Him and his wife had already planned a trip and everything, booked it and flights. So since that's the first meeting of the year with appointments and all these authorities and so forth, he was just checking to see, since it was already booked and planned, could we do the first one on the 7th instead of the 6th.
Legal has a conflict with the 7th, so staff will recommend 8th.
Yeah, both of us got meetings.
Okay.
But these are all the proposed schedules for the year. And
One for the 30th of December.
for 2025, correct. Or we can move it to the 23rd, like we did this year.
Usually never after Christmas, it's always before.
Can move it
And
before.
that,
That's
that,
the
that would
way
give
the
a,
first
that would give a
month is.
2-week turnaround. That should be sufficient time for advertisement and typing up the minutes.
I mean, I haven't seen one in 12 years be that close to the first, because most people on this board would take off sometime between Christmas and the first of the year.
Yes, sir.
So you may wind up in a situation not having a quorum.
With the change we did in October, those dates are the first and fourth. So that's why, but I can make that change.
It makes sense we started having all evening meetings.
And we changed them to the
We
first
sure May 27th.
Monday and the
Memorial Day.
fourth Tuesday.
May 26th is Memorial Day.
Is it, that's a Tuesday there? Okay.
Yes, we moved that one to a Tuesday because of the, well, legal has, that's the
Labor Day
4th
is September, Memorial Day.
Tuesday of the month.
So that's a Tuesday. Sorry.
It's a lot of, we just make sure legal had no conflicts with that date, with the 4th Tuesday.
The first one's on my birthday, so,
Have a cake on the table.
yeah.
Move that to the 23rd. Can make some suggestions to change it that way.
We're still talking about December?
December 30th.
I agree, yeah, I'm fine with that.
30th to the 23rd.
Yes.
Everybody else fine with that?
You want the, on the 30th?
December 30th?
23rd.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'd rather do it before.
And we'll make note of that, commissioners, and to do it before Christmas.
What about January meeting?
Is there another day
Okay.
that week, council, that would work for y'all?
Any day other than Monday and Tuesday, or any day other than Tuesday.
We talking about January now?
Yes, sir.
Talking about that one date, since he already had all that planned and booked before earlier this year, we decided to go to Mondays.
So you saying legal can't be
The
here
first and
Monday
second
and Tuesday?
Tuesday, the first and second Tuesday of every month, we're both covered on
Okay.
other meetings.
So
it'd have
y'all
to a
couldn't be
Wednesday.
here on the 6th anyway?
Yeah, 6 is not,
That's on a Monday.
that's on Monday. I mean, I said I meant to say the first and second Tuesdays.
Oh.
We both have
Got
night
it,
meetings.
okay.
So even though it's not normal practice to have it on a Wednesday, could we do that one on January the 8th on a
Yeah,
Wednesday?
y'all can have whatever you want as
I don't
long as
care.
you
We'll
set
move
it.
I'm saying
Yes,
for you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As long as the Wednesdays and 8th, I can make it here.
Because our daytime meetings were Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Right,
So we
right.
moving that one?
So what if we just move just that one? And like Commissioner Threadgill said, we don't normally change things around just because someone can't be there, we'll have a quorum. But that does start off the first of the year, and he asked about it,
So we'll change January 6th to the 8th, correct?
to the 8th,
6 PM?
at 6 PM.
The 8th.
The 8th, that Wednesday at 6 PM, and that'd be the only one that,
And then the December to the 23rd. Is that it?
That's the only two I wrote down, then,
that's, yeah,
That's it.
that's what I see. And now any of us plan anything this year, we know what the dates are to plan around.
With those corrections, staff recommends approval of the schedule.
I'm making motion, we approve the 2025 Board of Commissioners meeting schedule with the discussed changes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Sounds good. All right. Number 2, resolution approving the designation of the Office of the Department of Human Services, Division of Child Support Services, Noonan, Coweta County, Georgia, as an alternative facility to the Meriwether County Courthouse for holding sessions of court for child support cases.
Mr. Chairman, Kai and Judge Palmer is here.
Sarah Mims is here from the district attorney's
There's
office.
several people here to
Yeah.
go over this.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the commission. I'm Emery Palmer. I'm one of the Superior Court judges in the circuit. The Division of, come on up, sir. The Division of Child Support Services is a segment of the Superior Court that does child support enforcement actions. These are cases where basically people that can't afford, women for the most part, that can't afford lawyers can seek to enforce a child support award. We hold those in Superior Court. It's handled through the District Attorney's Office. Sarah Mims is the Assistant District Attorney that's been in charge of that in Coweta, Meriwether, and
Just Coweta and Meriwether.
right now. And she's going to be continuing to do that in the new circuit. She's done it for many years and does a fantastic job. In Meriwether County, we have traditionally convened those sessions on the third floor of the courthouse, which we're currently unable to use. What we've proposed in this resolution is that we hold that we convene the sessions at the Child Support Enforcement Office in Newnan, where a lot of them have to go anyway. And the vast majority of these cases do not require a hearing. The people show up, they talk with the staff and resolve the cases. I think Sarah would affirm that having the meetings in Newnan in the office, which we did during COVID, really resulted in a lot more settlements than we got in the past, and resulted in greater payment of child support, because she feels like people are less intimidated than when they come in the courthouse and they have to deal with me. And that's a good thing. Now, if people can't come there, if they have transportation issues, we can do virtual hearings from the courthouse in Meriwether, or we can schedule a hearing in the courthouse. But with the situation with the third floor, it would help us a lot if we were able to do this. State law requires us to have a resolution from the county commission to hold court in a different place for any reason. I may be asking you to do that for our criminal court in the future at some point because of the space limitations in the courthouse right now. But that's something that would help us out a lot, at least in the short run, until we get some of the work on the courthouse done.
Well, I think that would help us too, because that'd be less activity.
That's
So
right.
We're fixing to get busy with that.
And it would help with scheduling. I think Ty can speak to that. Just taking that off of our plate, scheduling wise, would help a lot as well. Anything else you want to say about that, Sarah? All right. Anybody have any questions?
For the judge? Sounds good. Thank you for being here
All
tonight.
right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and members of the commission.
Do I need a motion then, if there's no other discussion, to have a resolution for this to take place?
I make a motion to approve the resolution and allow the chair to sign.
Got a motion, do I have a second? Got a second, all in favor? Number 3, intergovernmental agreement between Meriwether County Board of Commissioners and Meriwether County Industrial Development Authority. Mr. John.
Chairman and Commissioners, this IGA is a transfer of 42.37 acres owned by the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners to the IDA to expand industry in the county through an expansion project of Georgia Concrete and Precast LLC that would create 20 to 30 jobs in the next 18 to 20 months. That is Exhibit A in this packet. Your parcel Exhibit B in the IGA is a contract behind it. Legal did have 4 stipulations that, it's not the IGA, they had the IGA, this is the exhibits. The stipulations are on page, the second before the last page. There were 4 stipulations legal requested, and Mr. Caldwell has agreed to those stipulations.
Pay the road, county standards.
Yeah, pay the road to county standards. All work should be completed no later than December 2025, and these special stipulations shall survive the closing of the contract. The staff recommends approval of the IGA and allow the chair to sign. And per this agreement, he will close on January 9th, 2025.
Any questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion from the board?
I'll make a motion, we approve the recommendation and allow the chairman to sign.
I got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second, all in favor? Oh. But you don't have to, you're not being here, so. All right. Number 4, work authorization for Pinco Restoration, continuation of the contract for the courthouse.
Commissioner, this is to continue the contract for Pinco Restoration to place dehumidifiers and air scrubbers in the courthouse to control the moisture level in the building. Once staff is relocated out of the courthouse, this service contract will be terminated. Staff recommends approval and allow the chair to sign the work authorization and completed direction to pay. And this is just a continuation of the prior contract that was signed last year.
What's the contract term length?
There is no length that I spoke to Andrew, so it can be
Recurring
terminated.
monthly?
Correct.
Okay.
And it's helping the moisture level on the 3rd floor of the courthouse and the basement.
It has helped.
And once staff is completely out of there, we will have it done because we'll be in the renovation phase.
If you don't have any more discussion or questions, we'll have a motion from the board for the continuation of the contract.
How much is this costing us?
It's $5,000 a month.
We've been doing it for the last,
5 to 6 months.
Every time it rains, there's a new issue, so it's appreciated.
well, no, I'm not questioning the need to do it. I'm just wanted that to be out there to make sure everybody understood the urgency.
Commissioner,
We're
where's
already
the,
spending $30,000 already, we're gonna fix and spend.
it's basically a Band-Aid to kind of control
I
the
understand.
moisture and mold growth in the courthouse. So when
Very expensive
remediation,
Band-Aid, and we need to get
That's
moving on the
another
rest
why
of
we
this.
gotta get rolling. Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, I make a motion, we approve the Pinco Restoration monthly contract.
I'll second it.
Got a motion, a second, all in favor? Thank you. Number 5, consideration of removal of a large dead tree near 1338 Luthersville Road.
Commissioner, there's a large dead tree near the intersection of Strickland Town Road and Luthersville Road that is 27 feet from the road center line, well within the county right-of-way. Due to the size of the tree, Public Works is unable to remove it unless it fell on the ground. The power lines are on the opposite side of the road and the tree is leaning towards the road, presenting a safety hazard and a blockage on Luthersville Road should it fall. Staff is requesting consideration to receive quotes on removing the tree safely and efficiently, or at least dropping the tree and having Public Works go out and clean up the drop.
Yeah, I think that would be the cheapest way, but you could have them price it both ways. They
Yes,
drop
sir.
it, clean it up, and it's done, or have them drop it and cut it up, and then we'll save money by having our county guys go out there and load it all up.
Correct. And staff is just bringing this because we anticipate this to be over the 5,000 threshold that I'm allowed to authorize.
For one tree?
Yes, sir. It would take probably 3 of us to hold hands and wrap around it.
Old tree, it's huge, power lines is there, but
So has Georgia Power been contacted about?
They haven't, since the lines are on the other side of the right of way, they will not do anything unless the tree falls. And it's a possibility it could take out the power lines. And I spoke with Barry in Public Works. They cannot handle taking out a tree of that size unless it was on the ground.
so right now, you just need a motion to go ahead.
And receive quotes and bring it back to
Get
the
some
board.
bids on it, see what they look like.
Correct.
So moved.
All
Second.
in favor? Thank you. Number 6, the consideration for courthouse donations.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. I've talked to the Chamber of Commerce and they gave me direction from the IRS, and I've contacted IRS to get a letter that we can receive donations for the courthouse renovations. I've talked to our auditors. They have said everything is fine as long as we restrict the funds to a line item and strictly dedicated to the courthouse renovations. Anybody that donates would get that letter from the IRS saying it's going to a government entity. We are tax nonprofit. So we would, once we receive that letter, and we anticipate that letter to come in the mail this week. And once we receive that letter, we will advertise it on the website and through social media to let people know we're receiving donations if the board wishes.
Does that need to be in the form of motion, or just,
Y'all want to accept them?
you want to accept the donations?
I'll make a motion to accept the proposal was presented to accept donations for the courthouse renovation because it is going to be substantial. And with that being said, there's a list of original donors that we could reach out to,
Yes, ma'am.
as well as industries and patrons and citizens and anybody else, because
I second that.
Got a motion second, all in favor?
Thank you, Commissioners.
All right, report from the county administrator, John.
Commissioners, I've been busy the past since the last meeting, attended the airport meeting, attended the IDA meeting. We interviewed and hired Andrew McCory for the recreation director. He will start January 2nd. He's from Troup County. Bill Cawthorn reached out to Piedmont about Stovall, to move barrels back in place. They're about 5 feet off of the side of the road. Tigner Road, Andrew will go out there. He'll send someone. If he has to, he'll personally go out there and look at it. He didn't realize it was a pressing matter, but he said it'll be, if he has to, he'll go out there himself. He anticipate probably after Christmas, he'll start work on that road. Be looking at Lily Patrick Road with Barry tomorrow. We have a citizen who has some health issues with that road, so we're looking at how we can improve that road to get the dust down. Just have to talk with Barry. Jail locks update. The smaller locks came in today. The bigger locks we anticipate to be here on Wednesday, so we're moving forward with the jail locks and hopefully be completed in the next couple of weeks. The AC coil replacement, we'll be reaching out to Air Force Heating and Air to see when this will be done, hopefully before the end of the year.
I was told by them, I had a meeting with them at work today, and I was told they were done, they're complete and it's over.
Well, they did have cranes out there, but they were supposed to call us back because we've been working with them and we did not get a call back. So we didn't know if they were coming or not. They told us it would be the 1st of November. And when we didn't hear from them, we called them back and then we were told it would be the 1st of December. And so they just never got back in touch with us.
We'll confirm the work has been done.
Yes. Thank you for that.
Bill Cawthorn usually checks off. He hasn't got an email from Air Force. I spoke with Susan Harrison. She's a district manager with Waste Management. I've been emailing her and I will follow up with a phone call about cost analysis with the landfill. They are willing to put up, no jake breaking signs coming into the landfill to try to help soothe that area with the jake breaking coming into the landfill. So she's willing to help the county out in that way by posting them. I'm not sure if it did good, but we do have letters out to GDOT to put no jake breaking signs on that highway as well. The RFP for election is out and it's published. And we're running the paper again this week and it's on our website. The other 3 RFPs that were approved, legal has signed off on them from the tax assessor. We'll be getting those in the paper this Friday. We'll run them for advertisement. They'll be next 2 weeks. And then the public works vehicles, we only have a few left out there. They've all been purchased except for one that we need to bring back to surplus, but they should be cleaned up pretty quickly in this public works yard. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Report from county commissioners. Mr. Trivia,
I don't have anything.
Mr. Worsley.
So I thank everyone for the work they're doing and the effort, and hope everybody has a good holiday season coming up. Be safe and be careful. Mr. Russell.
don't really have anything outstanding. I'll just wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I know it's gonna be here. We turn around twice, it'll be here, so, and that's it. Other than I may be moving for.
And you're excited that 109 Bridge is open?
Absolutely. They're wide open now.
Yeah. Commissioner Collins.
I'd just like to thank staff and all employees and, like to thank all the people at Woodbury that put on a really good parade up there. Had a lot of involvement, and, that's all I have. And have a happy holiday. Merry Christmas.
Same thing. I'm grateful, thankful for everything that's been done by the staff, and I have been honored to even serve as chair this year, and it's been great, and it's been learning, and I appreciate everybody just working together as a team. It's been wonderful, and I'll say Merry Christmas, but I'm gonna do it again on the 23rd meeting right before Christmas. So, other than that, County Attorney, you got anything?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Do we have reason for executive session?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, for litigation, personnel, and real estate.
And before we, in tax matters? On the next page, I got tax matters too, or we?
I don't have anything for tax matters and litigation for
on-
executive session.
okay, just-
We list all 4 of them, but
Okay, all right. Well, before we make a motion to go into executive session, our future meetings will be Monday, December 23rd, 2024 at 6 o'clock p.m. We're closing observance of the Christmas holiday Tuesday, the 24th, and Wednesday, the 25th. We'll be closing observance of New Year's Day, Wednesday, January 1st. And our first meeting will be Monday, January the 8th, of 2025, regular meeting at 6 o'clock p.m. Do I have a motion to go into
We
executive
just
session?
changed that one to the 8th.
What's that?
Remember, that one changed to the 8th,
I just
January
said
8th.
8. I read 8.
Oh, I thought you said 6.
No, I went ahead and said it because I knew we changed it, so.
Good
It's a
deal.
Wednesday, not a Monday, though, so.
Yeah.
Oh, I said Monday the
Yeah.
8th, but it's Wednesday the 8th. There you go. There you go. All right. Do I have a motion to go into executive session? Got a second?
Second.
All in favor? We're now in executive session at 7:10 p.m. Got a second? Got a second? All in favor? We're now back in regular session.
I make a motion to allow the chair to sign as discussed in executive session.
I got a motion. Do I have a second? All in favor? Is there anything else we need to talk about tonight? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. All in favor? We are adjourned
You got
at
a second?
7:51.